Hello, and welcome back to another inspiring episode of Achieving Unity Success Formula. It's our weekly podcast where we turn chaos into connection. We turn purpose into action. I am your host, Mark Intrican, and today is another episode about the Achieving Unity Success Formula, making life better by encouraging, inspiring, and including others. Today's guest is Tiffanie Kellog, a renowned business coach and professional speaker from Tampa, dedicated to helping entrepreneurs make more money in less time by generating referrals for life. And we'll talk to her more about this because aren't referrals also friends? We always have good friends. With over a decade of experience, Tiffanie empowers individuals to refine their networking strategies, delivering impactful presentations, and authoring books like Four and a Half Networking Mistakes and Socks to Success. But before we gauge into this insightful discussion, let me quickly introduce my company, Reality Focused Dynamic, where all this began. As you see on the screen, first off, I hope to give you a gift, and I hope you will read it. It is my Achieving Unity Guide. There's a QR code on the bottom left, and you can also sign up for our newsletter right there on that screen with the QR code and view some of the articles that I write. It's about two every 2 weeks. Sometimes there's a third, and it also goes to our blog and on our website. I'd love to have your feedback, questions, comments. Also, that blog QR code is on the bottom right. It's all about communication. Communication and collaboration are the keys that unlock every door to success, personally and professionally. Achieving Unity Success Formula. Today is podcast number 46. We are here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and we want to see you here every chance you have. Please put it on your calendar. We'll be here. We want to see you here also. Our logo, it's what it's all about. It is for what we do. Reality focused dynamics, creating solutions one reality at a time. It's what we do. It's how we do it. As you see in our logo here, it truly represents the heart of what we do. Notice how focused it sits right in the center. That's because everything we explore, from reality focused dynamics to success focused solution, revolves around clear, intentional direction. In fact, the idea of focus is so central to what we do, it's even built into our business phone number. 303-362-8733 spells 303 focused on your phone pad. We believe that by being truly focused on what matters, we can create meaningful change and achieve lasting unity. Reality focused dynamics equal success focused solutions because they create each other back and forth. We have proven compassionate strategies to turn conflict into lasting harmony at home, at work, and in every relationship that matters. Are you ever frustrated by tension, arguments, disagreements? Our 7 step roadmap gives you the tools to move from conflict to collaboration quickly and confidently. Craving stronger trust, craving stronger connection, communication. Discover communication tactics that build respect, repair relationships, and unify teams and families alike. We can transform conflict into connection together, achieving unity. Unity inspires our homes. It shapes society. It transforms workplaces. We help you turn that frustration into understanding. Have you ever heard somebody say, "What the frustration?" Okay, they may not have said frustration, but it's the same thing. That's where it comes from. We need to find value in our actions instead of reacting in that anger or frustration, because we can show you how anger holds no value, much more room for passion and desire. Anger is just actions not gaining effective results. ANGER, actions not gaining effective results. Yes, life happens in every relationship, personally and professionally, from personal to professional, from parenting time to partnerships, in the boardroom, in the bedroom, and every room in between. We show you how to embrace challenges and encourage a more inspired and inclusive future. Encourage, inspiration, inclusion. EII. Read my podcast. I'm sorry, read my blog. You'll find more about EII. One vision, one goal, achieving unity in every area of life. What's our call to action? Let's ditch the drama. Let's get stuff done. We'll show you how to turn your life from what may seem like a dumpster fire to a well-oiled machine. Wouldn't that be awesome? Achieving unity, the path to stronger relationships, inspired leadership, and lasting change. We have coaching, consulting, courses, and keynote speeches, as well as workshops. Contact us today. Go to realityfocusdynamics.com, markentricken.com. Call me, 303 Focused. You can also go to 303focused.com. Just connect. Let's talk. There's a QR code in the bottom right. I'm looking forward to talking with you. The course is about 7 steps to achieving unity success formula. We can create success, and it's just a small, easy formula. It's living life fully through our present moment awareness. Achieving unity does not solve the problems, but it does build the bridges to possibility. It encourages every person's growth by inspiring people, by replacing criticism with compassion. It inspires that change through hope, not pressure. Every step forward can matter. We include every voice so no one feels unseen, unheard, or unworthy. When we replace that disconnection with empathy and frustration with understanding, we create that space for trust, collaboration, and shared success. This is how we thrive together, achieving unity. We have more podcasts coming up. We have a great podcast today. Tiffanie is just wonderful. I can't wait to introduce her in a few minutes. But first, next week, we have Brittany Stinson coming here to talk to us that it's time to extract your genius. We know you're smart. You know you are. Let's extract it. Let's do something with it. Week after that, 8:13, Jamie Martin's coming in to silence doubt and start living your life on your terms. Now, all of August is going to focus on moms, mothers, and their parenting in this new world, in this new age. So the following week, we also have Julie Lithcott-Hames talking about how to raise an adult. Important information. The following week, 8:27, Martha Burek. Yes, you can raise happy, responsible children. Then following that, starting the 1st of September, Sue Patz with the new beginning. And we all need to think about that as we go forward, that new beginning, rebuilding ourselves, as we'll learn more today about building those references and referrals to go forward with the people that we work with. So our big, exciting, interesting subjects of the day, entrepreneurship and referrals with the speaker in socks. Talk about fun. Tiffanie Kellog, known as the Socket to 'em success strategist, is an international speaker. She's an author and an entrepreneur with a passion for helping people make money, save time, and have fun. That's the ultimate. That's what we need. With over 2 decades of experience, Tiffanie has empowered thousands of business owners through high energy keynotes, interactive trainings, and powerful referral systems that deliver results. We all love results, don't we? She's the author of multiple books and the creator of Tiffany's. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Those aha moments that spark action and shift those mindsets. Her latest book, The Entrepreneur's Guide to More Free Time launches in 2025 this year. It's offering strategies to help entrepreneurs reclaim their time and truly enjoy their life. There's her picture on the right, and right below her picture is her URL for her site. Go out there, talk with her, check with her, connect with her. But please help me welcome Tiffanie Kellogg.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me here today.
Oh, Tiffanie, it's a pleasure. So good to see you. You have such a great smile. I
Oh, thank
just
you.
love the way you do that. And I just now saw this. I like your little, what's that board on behind you on your right? Your time, fun, money?
Yes, those are the Scrabble tiles that my husband got me to signify. That's what I help entrepreneurs have, more money, time, and fun. And he got the perfect wall art for me, for sure.
That looks great. I'm so excited to hear somebody that wants to think about that and has fun with their life. I tell people all the time it's a light life, Litelife. Lite, life is too easy.
Yes.
Life is too easy. Life, living it fully every day. And that's what we do. And I think you're going to help us today to get to that.
We're
So,
going to try for sure.
David, I appreciate that. But let's start with that little bit about you and your socks. What, 300 pairs? Tell us about yourself.
So I think we're up to 400 now. It keeps growing and growing and growing. And what started as like a little fun throwaway, I would have fun with my socks on social media and talk about it. And then a business consultant was like, "Why aren't you wearing socks on stage where everyone can see them?" So I've got, typical, here's my dress on. And then, I mean, you can't see it because this is Zoom, but if I was on stage somewhere, I've got on bright knee high, our crew, colorful socks with Converse. And so, to my knowledge, I am the only female speaker that wears dresses, bright socks, and Converse on the stage and networking.
That is excellent. I love that because and I think like what you do, you stand out.
Hmm.
You're not just one of everyone else. It's a key to what you're doing, and they become part of your brand.
Yeah. I've even got like my Tiffany Kellogg socks. So I have my Tiffany's. So I've got my
Okay.
Tiffany socks going on. I have people that take pictures of their socks and send to me. They see socks for sale. Sometimes they buy me socks. I have socks from like Japan and Iceland and Amsterdam. It's just
Wow.
people like they see the sock store, they think of me, they send me a photo. That meme goes around with the chicken legs up on the car dashboard. That, every time that comes back around, I get a slew of them. And what's brilliant is this is something that I do that is fun and is memorable, but it means people don't only have to think of me when they think of Tiffany and referrals and relationships. They also, like when they see the socks, they think of me.
That is great because that keeps them on their mind because for most of us, we put on socks every morning. So we think about socks, we think about Tiffany, you are on our mind.
And that's, I think, the goal, especially in the business realm, is we want to be on people's minds for what we do, for sure, and also for other things, because the more we can stay top of mind, the more people are going to think of us, the more people are going to refer us.
I like what you're saying. And as you're saying, you help people. You help people make more money. You make people, as you're showing there, your bottom right on your signs on the wall your husband gave you. You talk about making more money in less time, having more fun. It
Yes.
sounds like a dream job. Can you unpack that little sock or pack of socks for us and tell us what that looks like in real life?
So I started off like many entrepreneurs opening a business for, whatever reasons they may be. And I had a promotional products company and I was spending most of my time cold calling. And luckily, I got invited to networking and I started learning more about it. And what I found was just because you have business doesn't mean that you have business coming in. And while I'm good at cold calling, I don't like to do it. So, like, how can I refine and hone my referral skills? Because if I can get referrals, that means it takes me less time to close them. They usually pay me more. Like, there's a whole slew of amazing positive referral facts of why they're so amazing. And once we're able to get those in, that's where the more money, time, and fun comes from. And so I've been working for 20 plus years with entrepreneurs on the networking and on the referrals. However, I did have some people like Tiffany, but I need time to be able to build these relationships because referral marketing just needs to be renamed because it needs to be relationship marketing because referrals aren't happening without the relationship. So you have to have that.
Wonderful point. I
Yeah.
love that.
And so we need to have the time. So it was 2017. I was like, all right, y'all have been asking for my time hacks. I'm like, let's put the time hacks together. So I'm like, recently, but really 2017 was like 8 years ago. So 8 years ago is when I first started sharing the knowledge that is the entrepreneur's guide to more free time so that we can have that free time to develop the relationships, to get the referrals, and to have plenty of fun. I am very much a believer in work hard, play harder.
I love that. That's excellent. Work hard, play harder.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I think the results of what you're putting together helps us work hard so we can accomplish more, be able to play harder, be able to play more.
Yes. Yeah.
And
People
that,
that want to work all the time, I am not the right person for you because my goal is how can we get you to work less and make more money? I had a client in 2019. We started working together at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the year, he's like, I have to report 8% growth. And I'm like, because we worked really hard. However, that was only one of the metrics because while he only had an 8% growth, he reduced his work week by 25%. So
that's
a
awesome.
quarter, yeah. So not only did he have 8% growth that year, he did it while getting rid of a quarter of the time that he was working. And to me, that's when we're winning, when we're making more money, all while working less.
And who could ask for more? And let's go back to what we had briefly mentioned earlier. We talked about referrals, and you've made some better processes for better names for it, but relationships. But what about friends? Don't a lot of these friends, don't these people, the referrals that you have, these relationships again, they could become friends, don't they?
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of my best friends are relationships that I made in business. Now, my life was unique. I moved down to Florida in 2003 and started my very first business. And then I started networking in 2005 and was meeting all of my people. So I moved to a new place. So I left behind like the college friends and the high school friends and all of those. And so all of my friends pretty much in the Tampa area, like people that I know, it's either business related or business related in some way, shape, or form. Either their family, maybe, but all of my friends are like business related. We're going out of town this weekend with a gal that I met at my very first networking event in 2000.
Wow,
We celebrated this year our 20th year of friendship. All started because of networking and referrals.
that is beautiful, and that takes me to my next thought: is you've coined the term referrals for life. And from what I'm hearing you say, that could also be relationships for life, friends for life. What so from you, what exactly does that mean from how you're doing it, and how is it different from just handing out those business cards at a mixer?
Well, I think that handing out business cards at the mixer somehow has been misconstrued in, hey, we're developing a relationship. In my first book, actually, I liken it to if you go into a bar, Mark, do you just have a whole bunch of, cards with your name and number? I think I likened it. Do you have a matchbook with your number in it? And do you just walk up to everybody you meet and say, hey, call me, I want to date you? No, it doesn't work that way. And so why
It,
we think in networking going and giving somebody the business card. I call that in-person spamming. Why we think that's a good idea? I have no idea because that is so not what it's about. It is about developing the relationships. And so I think of networking events like speed dating. Who's in the room that I need to spend more time with? And I do love using the example of dating and relationships and referrals. But I think a lot of times people don't realize that referral relationships are a relationship. You have to have built
They
that
are.
like and trust for me to be able to say, yes, I will open up. I would say, my database or my Rolodex, but nowadays it's, hey, I'll open up my phone and you can, go through and see the connections. It's it's developing that relationship, and oftentimes I'll have people say, "Oh, I'm a member of this group or that group." Insert whatever name here. They're like, "I'm just not getting out of it what I want." And when I say, "Well, who are your top referral sources? What are you doing to motivate them? What is your plan?" And they're like, "Well, I joined the group." Good for you, and you still have to do the work. And it is about developing those individual relationships, being part of a group, albeit there are some amazing ones out there. It's not going to be it. You got to develop the relationship with the person. So I actually recommend to most people. I do it because I'm a 13 is my lucky number. Man, there's a lot of Baby Yoda going on. Sorry if I can't tell. I'm a Baby Yoda fan. I know it's Grogu. But so I keep my top 13 list. So I'm just refreshing because I'm just refreshing my entire office this weekend. And so I'm making a new list. Who are my top 13? So I recommend that people do usually 12 because not everybody likes an odd number. I do. But make a list of who are your top 12 referral sources. And then I'm thinking every week, every other week, what have I done to motivate them? How am I staying top of mind? Because I need to have those relationships if I want the referrals.
That is so true. And again, when you say that referral, that is that relationship, that friend, and your brand has so much fun in it because I'm like you, 13 is just another number. It's when you roll the dice, you can't have 13 on a dice with just one to six on it, but if you could, it's still just a roll of the dice. So
Yeah,
why not take 13 and enjoy it?
yeah.
It's Friday the 13th. It could be special. It
It's
could be
it's
just
the
as
number I wore when I played basketball. It is my lucky number. If you have to pick, that's my number.
beautiful attitude. And that's what we all need to do. And we all need to take that. As I mentioned, your brand has so much fun as the foundation behind it. And it's a memorable twist, has a memorable twist to it. How did you discover this power of being memorable? And how can the listeners today and they listen to this later, how can they apply that in their life, inside and outside business, perhaps?
So I think that as we think about what makes us memorable as business owners, when I run an exercise and I ask the audience, what would you want people to say about your business? I get very fine words like expert, professional, on time. And I mean, like, they're good, but they mean nothing specifically. And I think that as you can really embrace who you are, what is authentically you, and can share that, it makes a huge difference. Now, I don't recommend that everybody does the same thing because you want it to be authentic to you. You want it to be something that fits with you. And so maybe part of your exercise is asking people, hey, what do y'all think of when you think of me? Or maybe you have hobbies that you do. What are those things? What are those components? What makes you stand out in a good way? Now, especially depending on where in the country you are, in the world you are, it could be your sports team. But like if you're in Tampa Bay, I'm in Tampa Bay. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like everybody here is a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. So it doesn't really stand out the same way, but if you live in Tampa Bay and you're like, Tampa's probably not a good example because we have a lot of non-natives here. But you kind of get the what I'm saying is if you're like everybody
Yes.
else, it's not standing out. It has to be what's different about you. I lean into the fact that I have a southern accent. And I'm okay with that. And so I'll play with that. I am fun, and you'll see Star Trek and Star Wars stuff coming through. So you just have to think, what is me, and how do I share that bite-sized pieces when appropriate with others?
Hmm. And I like it because you are taking that extra step, but as you just mentioned, bite-sized pieces. You're not
Mhm.
overly elaborate in anything. You're not extreme, but you are taking those bite-sized pieces and moving those forward.
Yeah.
And though with when we talk about referrals and relationships and friends, Some of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe you're one of the same, but that bonding can also be a benefit. I've been a Denver fan, born down close to New Orleans. I've been a Saints fan, and well, I still am. If they play each other, I don't know what I'll do. But it's still the people that are also Saints fans. Who dat? The Broncos fans. Bonding with them is also a value, isn't it?
Yes,
Tampa Bay
yeah,
Buccaneers the same way.
yeah, definitely.
You want to stand out as you're doing with the 13 and being stronger in some of the things that you do, but by that same token, as you build those relationships, as you work with your referrals and talk with your friends, that place where you touch is also very valuable,
Yeah.
right? Well, one of yours, speaking of talking, one of your popular talks is called Four and a Half Networking Mistakes. Can you share one of those mistakes that people keep making and maybe laugh about now?
And this is again just Tiffany being Tiffany. I'm quirky
Love
and
it.
silly. To me, five networking mistakes, nobody wants to buy that book. Four and a half networking mistakes. Like when I'm doing the presentation, I'll ask the audience, all right, how many of you are just here because you want to know what that half mistake was all about? And there's usually some hands raised. So are we looking for like Twitter version, super quick, Cliff Notes version? How much time do you want me to spend talking about these four and a half networking mistakes?
Tiffany, what I'd like to do is have you pull it from your heart.
All right.
Right, let's go. We've got time. We've got 30 minutes, give or
I
take.
look, I'm always just want to be respectful of the host and,
It's
not
okay.
give you
And
a
that's
10-minute answer when you wanted a 10-second answer.
10 minutes would be perfect.
All right. Well, and we can ask questions along the way. So
Okay.
these are things that the experts tell you to do. And when I first started networking, like I would go to the library and get books. There was the internet back then. It wasn't that long ago, but I was still like researching in books. How do you do this networking thing? And there were a few things, four and a half, that I found that almost all the experts were telling you to do them. And I hate to say that they're mistakes because it's not that they're wrong, even though the book literally calls them mistakes. But it's about there's a better way to do this. And that's the intention when it comes to networking. So some of the mistakes, number one is handing out your business card when you're not asked. We call that in-person spamming. And
I
nobody
like that.
wants to get the email when not asked for it. And so when people meet you and they just shove that card, and I use shove because it feels like they're just pushing it in your face. And they're like, here you go. Here, Mark, have my card.
Now
In-person
what?
spamming. You haven't been asked. How do you feel when people in-person spam you, Mark?
I just purchased another software for my Outlook to help me go through all the email I receive every day.
Uh,
That's the biggest part. There's a lot of it that is interesting. There's a lot of great people out there, a lot of great business cards out there. But I think, as you mentioned earlier, how do you prioritize? How do you find out which one of those is most important? So, as you're saying, when someone is personally spamming, I may or may not have time.
Yeah, yeah. A funny exercise that I don't recommend anybody do, but I will because it's me. The first time I did this was unintentional. Somebody like gave me their business card. I'm like, thank you very much. What would you like me to do with this? And they were like the look of like they had no idea how to answer the question. Like I never got an answer because they were so like I disrupted the pattern. So I don't typically do that. I don't recommend that you typically do that. But sometimes, especially if I'm feeling cheeky because I've been doing this presentation, I'll be like, yeah, if you give it to me, I might, give you a little bit back. Here's the thing. If you're talking to somebody and you want them to ask for your business card, ask for theirs so that they're asking for permission. And then, because usually if you say, hey, Mark, can I grab one of your cards? You're going to say, sure. And then you're going to ask, Tiffany,
Or
can I
theirs.
get one of yours?
Mhm.
And so only ask, I'm sorry, only give your card when you're asked. Now, this does dovetail into our second, or sorry, our half mistake. And some people say, well, how is there a half mistake? Because not all the experts tell you to do this. some experts tell you when you meet somebody, give them not only a business card, but a stack of business cards, one for them and some to pass on. How do you feel, Mark, about when somebody meets you for the very first time? Hey, here's 20 business cards. Please refer me.
I wouldn't know what to do with them besides put them in the trash can.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
to me,
thank you, but I appreciate your desire, but
I don't know
I don't know
you
what I
and
would
have
do.
met you. And that takes me to, I'm skipping out, going out of order. The last mistake that we talk about is networking is never going to be enough. You got to be developing these relationships. To think you can do it all while you're networking is not going to be enough. So you have to look at it as, am I getting referrals from Mark? How am I working the relationship with Mark? Am I getting referrals from Yoda, baby Yoda? How am I working relationship with him? And so it's the individual relationships. Networking is not just enough. But
Well,
also because I skipped, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, you please, just, I just want to touch on something that you said that I don't know if I don't mean to challenge you with
Oh,
this,
challenge
but
me, please. Let's go.
you were mentioning when you said someone handed you a business card and you say, "Thank you. What would you like for me to do with this?" But then you said you wouldn't want anybody else to do this. I think it's an awesome idea, and I think we all need to do that. I think of all the ideas, that's one of the best.
All
So
right.
if
So,
somebody
Mark,
hands you a bit, go ahead.
I want you to do this. And then in the comments, share how it went.
Oh, I will. I'm going to use that. If
Yeah.
somebody hands it to me, I'm going to ask them, okay, this is great. I like your card. Nice design. Now, what do you want me to do with it?
Love it. Yeah.
And just check on that response and then question them back and say, well, if I handed you a card, what would you do with it? Because that partnership is about the relationship. That's where we need to be. That's one of the things that I work on is that ability for accountability and responsibility. I
Nice.
don't go too far into this, but that's where we come from as far as achieving unity. That success formula is about being accountable and being responsible. So if I hand you a business card, I think I'm also asking you, if I don't tell you up front, to ask me, what do you think I should do with this? That's
Nice.
beautiful. That's what we all need to do because as I see what you're saying, Tiffany, it's that ability to build that network, build those referrals, those relationships, those friends. So if I give you something, that's awesome to say. If it's not obvious, you say, well, what is obvious? Of course, I want you to give this to all the richest friends you have. Well, why should I do that? And where's the value for me? Is it truly a referral? Is it truly a relationship? Or is it a, excuse me, but is it a dumping on those
Mm,
friends?
gotcha.
So I will try that and I will send it. I will let you
Yeah,
know.
I'm
We'll
dying
just stay in
to know.
touch. So
And I'm like, this will be the next. I like to do experiments. I just like experiments in my life. That's fun. So my next experiment, I think when I go to a networking event, is to just ask people and see what the responses are. I haven't done
mhm.
one like that in a while.
I see your next book in the making. Oh,
No,
I'm serious, Tiffany.
the next book in the making is coming out October 16th. Got to finish
Oh,
that one first.
that's right. Oh, that's right. I'm at the next book. That's right. Your
Yeah.
2026
No,
book.
we will be revising. So the 4.5 networking mistakes will be revised because it was mainly focused on in-person networking. Now we live in a Zoom world. So after the Entrepreneur's Guide to More Free Time, we will be revising 4.5 networking mistakes for the Entrepreneur's Guide to Networking.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Because that's one of those things too. How many times have we been on? Now, I hope we know on this one with the podcast. I sent you the information. You know what you're doing here. You know why you're here. Number one is for you. It's about you. But how many times have you been asked to be on a podcast where they haven't sent you information? Like I've sent you, hey, will you be on my podcast? Okay, sure. Why?
It's run the gamut from like, all right, you want to be on my podcast? We're going to record. Can you record it now? To like 6 months in advance, and lots of fill out these forms. And I don't get me wrong, I've got forms when people go live with me because it just makes it easier for my office success manager to have it all up front. Yeah, it varies.
Mhm. It definitely does. But it's just like you're saying with that business card. I can just see that in so many areas. And in your next 20 to 26 book, to come out with something like that, to say, well, what do I do with this? That's maybe your six and a half mistakes. It's a
We
beautiful
need that.
process.
Oh, this is going to end up being like, what was it? Naked Gun 33 and a third. Oh, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Oh, you're so right. It does open up so much. And again, I like the way you do with your time, your fun, and your money. Because too many times, which is what we work on in Achieving Unity, the success formula is about having more fun. Don't be stressed. And as I mentioned earlier about anger, that's just
Mhm.
action is not gaining effective results. We need to be able to ask and communicate and collaborate better so that we have what you're talking about, that
Yeah.
networking, those referrals, those relationships in what we do. And and that's beautiful. I may have interrupted you though. Was there more on your 5.5 minutes? Anything else you want to cover in your story?
So just for those of you keeping track, the one other networking mistake I don't think we got to yet is I always say always have a name tag on. You just want it to be a curiosity name tag. So something that starts a conversation. So mine, I have one that says MMST. So when people say, what is that all about? I help people make money, save time. It's like the first letter. Or I have one that has a picture of a clock. There's some money and there's some people having fun. And when people say, what's that about? I can say, I help people have more money, more time, more fun. It's just a visual. So you want your name tag to be a conversation starter. Start the conversation, not necessarily say, coach, speaker, author, realtor, insurance, whatever it may be.
So you do go ahead and put your name on there, but you also put an emblem,
Yes.
logo, acronym.
Yes. Yeah, I always
Mm,
recommend the name, especially because people will forget your name.
yeah,
I remember one time I was at
that's
an event
true.
and I asked the lady, I'm like, hey, you're not wearing a name tag. She's like, I don't need to. I know everybody here. I'm like, have we met before? She was like, no. I started laughing. She did not. I'm like, okay, maybe that was just meant for us not to continue the conversation.
Tiffany, you open up other doors. That's one of the things I think about with your referral process and your relationship process. Because as you mentioned, and I don't mean to run this in the ground, but I probably am very intrigued by what you said about that business card. Now, what do I do with it? The same thing with you. When you're talking to people, you're providing a challenge for them, which most people aren't used to. We go into our meetings, you talked earlier about the cold calls. We go
Yeah.
into those with the same old pattern. Now, I can tell you, I like patterns. I have my coffee in the morning, I earn my mile, I do all the things, and I do those things in my pattern. Certain things on Mondays, certain Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm not saying anything is patterns, but there's some patterns that are culture patterns. And we do them because we love plagiarism. We love doing what other people do. Plagiarism is against the law, but we do it all the we raise our children on plagiarism. Do this, smile like I do. Here's how you say it. Here's what you do. Here's how you spell it. So that ability for us to get beyond the patterns in what we're doing, and I think you've triggered that in a very positive, fun way, giving people more time, helping them earn more money, and that helps us, as I'd say constantly, personally and professionally, right?
Yeah, nice. Definitely.
Yeah. Is there such a thing as too much networking?
Well, I think from a standpoint of can you spend all your time networking and not make any money? Yes. The person that's going to 40 hours worth of a week in networking events and is never following up and building the relationships, sending the quotes, they're not going to have any business. And so it does become about how do we create the harmony within our business of how much time do I have to fill the pipeline? What am I doing to fill the pipeline versus what is my fulfillment capabilities? Do I have to do the work? Do I have others that are doing the work for me? And you can easily network too much and have no business. But I also know people who will network and get good business, and then they stop networking because they're working in their business. But because they
Mhm.
stop networking, then it goes dry, and they're on this kind of roller coaster that people have a tendency to get on. They're like, let me go out networking, meet a bunch of people, get a bunch of referrals, yay, and then we're so busy I don't have time to do any of that, so we stop, and then we're like, oh my gosh, I have no business now, and then we go ramp up all of our activities till we're busy, and so we're on this constant roller coaster. And the intention is if you can find the right 4, 6, or 8 people that can pass you referrals all day every day, it evens that out, and you're not on this topsy-turvy. You're really just working a handful of the right relationships that can pass you referrals all day every day.
I like what you're saying because again, it's the right relationships. That's about
Yeah.
networking smarter, right?
Yes.
I didn't hear you say anything against networking or
Oh
networking
no. Oh,
going strong
I'm
at it. But then when you get into it, as you say, that hills, from your hills to your valleys, by networking smarter, as I'm hearing what you're saying,
yeah.
that helps you keep you at the top. So you have more time, you make more money, and I would think having more fun, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's have that fun. And the money in the bank account as well.
Nothing hurts. None of those hurt. Nobody wants too much time, too much money, or too much fun. I mean, is there such a thing actually? But, that's very interesting. I like how you do that. Is there a weird or strange or interesting referral that you may have received or may have given?
Oh gosh. There's been all kinds of crazy. What kind of interesting are you looking for? I'm like, this could go so many different directions. After
Well,
20 years, there's been a lot going on.
the only thing I ask is it not be more than PG rated. That's this is recorded. Uh,
I have
but
helped people end up engaged and married, though that wasn't the intention of it. But like, hey, we get you really clear with your business and your why, and get to do that. I've had clients who are having more kids and getting to adopt because of what they're able to do. So there's so many fun things that have happened through that referral, and it is interesting how much referrals are part of our life when we remember about them. Because I think a lot of times people forget, hey, can you give me a referral? Where should I go to dinner? Where should I go get my hair cut? That movie, that TV show.
Mhm.
I think there's so many opportunities. And referrals, when they work, are just brilliant because you are connecting the person that needs something with the person that's got the something that they need. And it makes it really powerful.
I think that's awesome. And you've said so much right there because sometimes we don't think about, you mentioned haircuts, you mentioned things like that. How many times something simple like that, doing something nice for someone is so helpful in referrals and when they might introduce someone to you, business or personal, professional
Yeah.
or personally, and that opens up so many doors in what we do. And as you mentioned, there's sometimes those referrals, those relationships turns into a serious relationship for someone else. You mentioned marriage. That's interesting.
Yeah. There's a few stories of people like, yeah, Tiffany, we met because of this and you and that, and it's kind of fun, when you get like the wedding invitation, or you're like, okay, here's the kid that you introduced me to the parents, and it's just a fun thing to get to make an impact on people's world. Not just in the business. I love the business stuff too. Like, let's double it, triple it, massive. And it is about the fun. Like, how do we get to enjoy our life now? Because we don't know what's going to happen in a week, a month, a year.
Oh, you've said so much right there. And I think that's one of the great things about what you do because you have a great smile. You have a way to show that happiness. You help others see that. What do you do? Or just talking to our audience, what are some ways that you can help others? I mean, how can we put this into lay terms, easy terms? How the rest of the world can kind of take on some of the things that you're doing in an easy manner where they don't seem awkward, so that 13 is not felt unlucky for them. How do we do that?
Yeah, I think that when we want to create success, a big part of that, especially in growing our business by referral, is being super clear on who we are, what we're offering, who we're offering it to, and then finding who are the folks that are also selling to that community. Who are the people that are actively looking to connect with your ideal clients? And when you can create those relationships with those referral partners, it makes it so easy because a lot of times people think, let me grow my business by referral. And it's let me go to 5 billion networking events every minute of every day, meet thousands and thousands and thousands of people and business cards everywhere. Like Scrooge McDuck, you're swimming through them. When really it's about who are the four, six, or eight. You know, I say start with 12 or 13 because you need a bench, but who are the four, six, or eight people that can pass you referrals all day, every day? It's about finding those right people, finding
Hmm.
the people to sell to them, and then it can be easy.
That's great to hear. And I hope people can pick up on that, that four, six, eight people that are important, that they're truly bonding. And it's not that anyone else is bad or negative, because we always want to look to the good. We don't want to find wrong. As I speak on, too many people find wrong too often. They walk into a room, they get on a podcast, or wherever they go, they're looking for something wrong. And that's not the way to success. I think you've mentioned that.
Yeah. I
Well,
think if you want people to respect you, you have to respect others, even if
oh,
you don't necessarily agree. So it's interesting. I'm launching on Friday, Women Entrepreneurs Living Child Free. So this is the alternative to the mommypreneur groups. Because while there's thousands of mommypreneur groups, there is actually not one business group for women without kids. And so it's like, okay, yes, we love moms, y'all. Like to me, it's all inclusive. And I'm like, all right. So when people are like, okay, well, I'm an empty nester. Do I count? No, but let me send you. Like, there are so many people that want the empty nester group. I love the fact that we
yeah.
can create unity and be all together in this world and still have like kind of our tribes of, whether it's the dad's group or the mom's group or the child free group or the grandparents group or the fun aunties group.
That is great. I like that, including others. That's part of what we do in our EII. That's so wonderful. And then it helps people, as I mentioned in my intro, about not feeling left out and that they don't
Right.
feel cold or left out. That's wonderful you do that, because being a parent, I loved it. One of the best things I've ever done. But that doesn't mean it's more than a culture, but that doesn't mean that there's not another one out there that, well, just because one person does it, back to plagiarism on that fun site, there's
And
people out
I'm
there that
more thinking
don't
like
want to.
imitation is the finest form of flattery versus plagiarism.
I like that. But again, your attitude and your smile and your happiness and saying that I like 13. I like being a mom. I like being a parent. I like being, let me get my words right here. I like being an adult without children. And so many people say, well, that's what was written in my book when when I grew up. That's what I'm supposed to do. And that's not true. And as you shared, if you want to live your life without children, that's a choice. And we all choose to make ourselves happy, right?
Yeah.
I hope we are.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. Like, if you choose you want to have kids, that's brilliant. Have kids. If you choose you don't want to have kids, that's brilliant. You don't have kids. If you're undecided, go borrow somebody's kids for 2 weeks without getting to give them back and see how it goes. Do a little market research. Like, like I almost didn't get dogs when we rescued our dogs. I'm like, I'm not sure I want this responsibility. And those
Hmm.
are much easier because like they're in the bedroom taking a nap right now because we're recording. But I love the fact that we live in a world, hopefully, most of us, where we get to choose what to make us happy. And I think that the more that people try to, and I feel like you can't just be willy-nilly. We have to respect the laws of the nations that we live in. We can't go kill people or we want to be moral folks. But I think that as long as we're not hurting others, like let's give love and joy and kindness to everyone out there.
How hard is that? Why do some people find that to be difficult? I
That's a whole
love
different
speaking on
conversation
that.
for a whole nother day.
Oh, I would love to do that because that's what I share on Achieving Unity and also
Yeah,
Creating Unity, creatingunity.com. It's all about us building together because we can't do it alone.
no,
Even if we want to grow up without children, we want relationships and referrals, and other people can be awesome, can be beautiful, can be wonderful. But we've got to be able, as you just mentioned, to be respectful ourselves.
yeah,
Respect others as you want them to respect you, the golden rule, right?
love it.
You've helped people shave days off of their work week and still grow their income. You've mentioned a few of those already. What might be that mindset shift that makes that possible?
So I'm gonna give you two things, quick, immediate, applicable things that can help make that possible. And they both involve this lovely electronic device that so often is handy nearby. Like I've got it on airplanes mode so it doesn't disturb me, but it's there. So number one, I would turn off your notifications on any unnecessary apps. So I get notifications when the phone rings and when I get a text message. Those are the only time my phone dings. No Facebook, no WhatsApp, no LinkedIn, no none of that. And the results, and this actually worked for Dominique. She was like, it saved me 60 to 90 minutes a day because I wasn't constantly getting the ding or the vibrate. Because every time it goes, even if you don't look at it, it disturbs you. It takes 64 seconds to get back focused. So that to me, for Dominique, she's like, it saved me an hour, 90 minutes after 2 days. So that's an easy and quick one. And then one that I've recently discovered, as I need to be on my phone less, is there's a mode called grayscale on your phone that turns everything gray. And you don't get that same chemical reaction in your body. Like the first time I looked at it, I'm like, this is not what I'm anticipating because our brain really has us trained in the colors. And so the
Mhm.
grayscale was like, it's not as attractive of a thing. And so I give the two phone hacks because usually that's an issue that entrepreneurs especially have is they feel they need their phone. And so if we could do those two things, you might be able to see an hour plus back right away. And whether you use that to nap, binge on Netflix, or actually call some prospects, which would be the best of the three options, then you've got that extra
Mhm.
stuff to do with as you choose.
I like that too. And that's one of the things that I want to do more of is when I have that time to be able to call others and send referrals. I was on a call earlier today, and that's was what impressed me about them is they're calling me and saying, "Who can I refer to you? How can I send you a relationship?" As you're saying, a lot of ways, Tiffany. And that is so, I think, beautiful of how we can help each other back to the respect that you're talking about. And then when you have that time, as I think you were just mentioning, how do we use it? How do we make the best use of our time?
Yeah.
That is excellent. I like that. We've got about 6 more minutes. Okay. So before we wrap up, what's one action that someone can take this week? The people in our audience, the people who listen to it later, it is recorded. What would help them build a referral rich life? How
Mm.
can they stay? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here, so and help remind me if we will go back over them, but help build that referral rich life, stay aligned with their values, and of course, have a little bit more fun.
All right. So I'm going to throw a little something out here. There's a lot of ways we could go, but I'm going to go with testimonials because the number one objective that you have in growing your business by referral is having others speak positively on your behalf. And most entrepreneurs are not gathering testimonials enough. And so I would, Mark, reach out to the people that know and love me. Mark, oh my gosh, you had this story that you shared. Brilliant. Like, where when you're talking to your clients, share about the success that you help them create or the problem that you help them relieve. And then here's what's crucial in capturing it. So, Mark, I appreciate that. Are you okay sharing if we share that story that you know, of what you were able to create with me? Are you okay with us sharing that with the world? Promoting you and your business to go along with it? We'll make sure 303 focus is on everything. All right.
What a memory. Yes,
So which would be
that's
easier
wonderful.
for you, Mark? Do you want me to kind of write up what I heard you say? I can send it to you, you can tweak it and make it your own. Do you want to write it and send it to me, or do you just want to hit record really quick and we can do a video? What would
Video
be
recording.
easiest?
Yeah.
And
And that is
so
so powerful today.
when you ask that, so if they say video, great, because then you've got the video and you can transcribe it. If they say you write it and I'll send it to you, brilliant. You may ask them some follow-up questions. Sometimes when you send it to people, they'll send it back to you as is. Sometimes you'll be like, this is not even close to what I sent, but they just need that help along the way. Or if they say they're going to do it themselves, then I would follow up with Mark. So when do you think I should look for that? Oh, by August 3rd. And so if by August 4th I don't have the response, then I'd follow up. Hey, Mark, I think it got lost in the interweb area. Could you resend it again? And what's great about that is once you have their words of what you've done success, put it on social media templates, put the video out there, have them share it. And so then they can start, seeing the excitement and chat with them. I mean, how to get referrals from them is like a big conversation that we can't do in 2 minutes. But
Right.
chat with them, asking them from the referrals because they're reminded about how amazing you were. So it's good because you're building your bank of testimonials. And if you're in a profession that has rules, just follow the rules of the profession for testimonials. If you don't know what I'm talking about, your profession doesn't have rules because you would know if you did. And then use those to inspire others to utilize you, as well as inspire the person that gave you the testimonial to potentially give you some referrals.
That
And
is
now I want to
beautiful.
go get some more referrals. I'm like, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, more testimonials to get those referrals.
And that opens up so many doors. I like
Yeah,
the way you're saying that because you want to help yourself, but you're helping others in that same effort.
definitely.
That's wonderful. That's a big wow, and I hope people will take that and go forward. I want to. I will, and I'd like to do that for you. I think that's a great idea, great concept, and we can take it one more step, one more step forward. That'd that would be awesome. So good deal. We are down to about a minute and a half left. Tiffany, thank you so much. Do you have any last comments before we close?
Well, if anybody has any questions or comments, I am at Tiffany Kellogg just about anywhere, so I am easy to find. And here's the thing when it comes to your referral relationships, you have to work them. It is about building a relationship. So you're going to have to give before you're going to get. And so just embrace, treat others with kindness, especially those referral sources of you, because you're investing in your relationships.